Welcome to the Lady Beaverbrook Gym at the University of New Brunswick in Fredericton, New Brunswick, the capital. We're getting set to watch live Atlantic Collegiate Athletic Association's men's volleyball. The hosts, the St. Thomas Tommies in white, green, and gold, and the guests in blue. From Université Sainte-Anne, the Dragons. The officials for tonight's match, R1 up at the stand, Mark Goff. Down on the floor, Randy the Legend Wilson. He's the R2. And on the hot corners this evening, lines officials Ken Burns and John Hamilton. R2 Randy Wilson just checking the lineups before we get set to start. And first serve will go to the Dragons. And back to serve is number 8, Jeremy Bork. Jump float serve from Bork. And up. It was an over bump by Stu, but blocker for the Dragons, number 11, Trevor Melanson, was on the net. We just received word from viewers at home that the audio problem that we encountered in the women's match a few hours ago has been solved. So that's great to hear. We'll have to thank Derek Dixon from Miramichi for all his feedback. We really appreciate it, Derek. Hope you enjoy the webcast, and thanks for tuning in. We're all tied up here at 1. Short serve attempt there by number 5, Anthony Jacques, just a little too short. Into the net it goes, and Stu leads by 1. Number 12 back to serve now for the Tommies. Christian Christie, third-year outside swinger, 6'4" from Langley, BC. See what he does here with his first. He throws up, looks like it's going to be a spinner, and it is. Gives the passers from the Dragons, number 5, especially Anthony Jacques, some difficulty. He shanks that over to the officials' stand, and that'll be recorded as a service ace for young Christie. Second serve here for Christie. Throws up a spinner again. Battle at the net. Well played. Beaten from Fredericton, number 2 for the Dragons, with a swing on the left side. Good coverage there by St. Thomas Lib. Number 9, Nathan Brown, but he can't control it, and it goes out of play for a Dragon point. The score now is 3-2. Tommy's lead here, early stages. Good crowd on hand. It was a good crowd for the women's match as well. They played Crandall University, if you missed that webcast. The Lady Tommies took the Chargers from Crandall, 3 straight sets. Set scores were 15-12, 15-12, 15-13. Garrett Dixon back to serve for the Tommies. He has a good jump float, but it was handled well by the Dragons. The net is just a dance in here. I'm not sure who was on it. Looked like many people. Looked like a couple of Tommy's blockers got tangled up. And that'll be a point for Université Sainte-Anne. I feel like I have to say their full name or just call them Dragons. Otherwise, if I shorten it to USA, it's going to sound like an international match, but it is not. They are from Nova Scotia, but that does not qualify as international. And a thunderous serve for number 11 from the Tommies, Dallas Melnick. Absolutely ripped it. And the defense from the Dragons just couldn't handle it, couldn't dial it in. Let's see what happens here with his second serve. He's a big body out there for St. Thomas. I saw him in warm-up, and he was hitting a mean left side ball. Ho-ho! Big bomb there. Adam McDougall, number 13 from the left side, absolutely destroyed it. Nearly caught the 3-meter line, about 4 meters back. Melnick serves again for Stu. He's got a hard topspin. They feed Beaton. He points, calls it in. Lines official called it in, however, being overruled by R1 Mark Goff, and a timeout is called by the head coach of the USA Dragons, head coach Jason Melanson, trying to settle his troops down as the Tommies pull away here. Spread the lead by 5. It's 8-3 in the first set. Pretty good action here in the first, in the early stages of this first set. If you're just joining us, it's 8-3 now for the Tommies, as Coach Melanson from Université Sainte-Anne just trying to settle his groups down, get them focused. Trying to break the serve as well for number 11, Dallas Melnick, who's been rattling off a couple here. Volleyball, of course, is a game of momentum, and one team grabs a hold of it, it's hard to get it back. So Melanson from the Dragons just trying to do whatever he can here to stop the little run that St. Thomas seems to be enjoying. And we're back at it. Melnick throws up his topspin serve, and that's a point really for Coach Melanson from the Dragons, who his timeout really probably had an impact on Melnick's timing and threw him off guard a little bit, or off kilter, if you will. He's having a good chuckle about it, though. Nice pass that time. Big left side ball again. Ooh, and some chirping going on. The officials won't be liking that, and they'll probably put a stop to it. That was McDougall with a big swing, and he was pointing to the other side. He goes back to serve for St. Thomas. The Dragons struggling on serve receive right now. Stu serving tough, keeping the Dragons out of system. McDougall drops one in, a shorty that time. Takes a little bit off it. Being cute with it. And we've got a two-touch call on the setter for St. Thomas. That would be number 6, Henry Doucette. Henry's in his second year. Stands 5'11" according to the program. He hails from Truro, Nova Scotia. Service error by number 4, Cedric Drapeau. And that'll be a point for Stu. And that'll send big Adam Hamilton back to serve, number 5. Adam's in his third year, 6'4" boy from upriver, as we say. He's from Heartland. That will likely get recorded as a service ace for Adam, as the Dragons ran out of real estate as they tried to shag that second pass. Hamilton throws up his toss for a jump spin into the net. I just realized I haven't announced the starting lineups yet. I will do that in just a moment. Nice set, back row ball to number 11, Dallas Melnick. So the starting lineup for the Dragons: number 2, Gabriel Beaton. He's originally from Fredericton here. Number 4, Cedric Drapeau. Number 5, Anthony Jacques. Number 6, Antoine Savoie. Number 8, Jeremy Bourque. Number 11, Trevor Melanson. The Dragons only carrying 8 bodies on the roster. The starting lineup, as it was for the St. Thomas Tommies: number 2, Garrett Dixon from Miramichi, New Brunswick. Number 5, Adam Hamilton from Heartland, New Brunswick. Number 6, Henry Doucette from Truro. The libero, number 9, Nathan Brown from Fredericton. Number 11, Dallas Melnick from Crystal Beach, Ontario. Number 12, Christian Christie from Langley, BC. Number 13, Adam McDougall from Calgary, Alberta. Oh, big bomb there by Dixon. I'm not sure where it took Drapeau, number 4. I'm not sure if it was off his forehead or off his shoulder, but he seems to be okay. He's laughing about it. Dixon absolutely destroyed it, got all of it. And that gave Stu their 14th point. They lead 14-8. Bit of a scramble here. Now see if Stu will transition here on that free ball. Oh, good up there. That time by number 6, Savoie from the Dragons. He had a big block on McDougall from St. Thomas and then had the presence of mind to keep it in play, reach behind him to dig it up. Picking up the garbage, as they say. Savoie back to serve for the Dragons. Dixon's pass was an over bump, handled well by the Dragons, but they weren't able to transition, and Stu capitalizes. Dixon will go back to the line now for the Tommies, number 2. Tommies up 15-9. Jump float. Nice pass by the Dragons. They run middle this time. When they're in system, they run a nice offense. And that'll be a hitting error for Adam McDougall on the left side. Trevor Melanson back to serve now for the Dragons. He'll throw up a spinner. Nice pass by McDougall. Doucette ran back to McDougall, and he scores. 16-10 now, Tommy's lead. Big serve that time by Melnick. I think the Stu's out of rotation because Melnick served not that long ago and we haven't gone full rotation yet. Nobody has complained and the officials haven't made any call on it, so maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me, but anyway, we'll see how it plays out. Back to serve now for the Tommies, Adam McDougall. Big bang from the left side. Anthony Jacques lays into one. Off Stu hands and out of play. The score now, Tommy's lead by 5. It's 17-12. Float serve. And a little roll shot by Hamilton will score. We have a substitution now on the Tommy side. Entering the game is number 10, William LeBlanc. And coming out is number 5, Adam Hamilton. LeBlanc will indeed go back to serve for Hamilton. Tommy's up by 6, 18-12 here in the first set. See a jump float serve, lots of action on it. Handled okay by the Dragons. They run right side. But number 18, Bork, was met by a big Stu block. Kept alive by the Tommies. Back row ball. Good swing by Melnick, and he kept it alive. Play continues. Bit of an off-speed shot there by Jacques, number 5 for the Dragons. He caught the corner with that roll shot, and he scores. Keeps his team within 5. It's 18-13. Gave the Stu passing system a little bit of difficulty, and we get called for a lift on setter number 6, Henry Doucette. Our umpire one, Mark Goff, calling a tight game so far. Brook serve sails long. That'll be a point for the Tommies. They stretch the lead to 19-14. Doucette back to serve for the Tommies, number 6. Good float serve. Looked like he may have touched it. Number 5, Anthony Jacques jumped as if he was going to volley that with take a forehand pass, or overhand pass rather, but just ducked out of the way and it sailed long. He'll go back to serve. Tommies go left side. Blocked there by the Dragons, kept alive. Play continues. Dragons run middle, and an absolutely gigantic block by Dixon, number 2, and number 11, Dallas Melnick. Stuff block in the middle that came back down onto the Dragons attacker. Gets this crowd energized. Christian Christie will go back to serve for the Tommies. They lead 20-15. Nice roll shot. Kept alive. Tommies go pipe. And the tip ball looked like it was going to go wide. However, it did hit Cedric Drapeau, number 4, in the shoulder, so it's a point for the Tommies. And a timeout is called by Jason Melanson, head coach of the Dragons from University of St. Anne. Tommies lead now 21-15. 4 points away from putting this one away. The pace of this first set's an indication we're in for a pretty good match here this evening. All set now to resume action. Number 12 back to serve for the Tommies. Christian Christie. Big toss for his big spinner. Beaten from the left side. And another big bomb by number 11. Melnick is absolutely on fire here this evening. He's only listed as 6'1", and from where I'm sitting way up high here, he doesn't look as big as some of his other players, so he could be a true 6'1" or 6 feet even perhaps, but man, what he makes up for size, he gets up there and he puts a ton of muscle into the ball, and he's got a heavy swing. Jacques back to serve now for the Dragons, number 5. Good use that time. McDougall saw the block and cut it hard, used the hands, and it went out of play. Wiped. Gives Stu the 23rd point. Garrett Dixon back to serve now. 23-16 is the score. Stu leads. Dixon handles that tip. Christie from the back row. Big swing and a score. Dixon goes back with set point on the line. Jump float. Handled well by the Dragons. They run middle. And that one takes setter number 6, Henry Doucette, in the side of the face. No harm, no foul. Just a little bit red, that's all. He's up, ready to run the offense, giving his boys the signals. Stu now leads 24-17. Nice pass. And they run it back to Dallas Melnick, who scores easily to give Stu their 25th point. They take the first set 25-17. And we'll be back with more live ACAA volleyball action from the Lady Beaverbrook Gym in just a few moments. Welcome back to live ACAA men's volleyball action. Live from the Lady Beaverbrook Gym here at the University of New Brunswick in Fredericton. In white, the Stu Tommies, the hosts. In blue and white, the guests from Université Sainte-Anne, the Dragons. Stu took the first set by a set score of 25-17, in case you missed it. A lot of big swings by the St. Thomas Tommies. Most impressive was Dallas Melnick, of course. I don't have the player stats in front of me, but he had a few good kills. And their setter will go back to serve to start us off, number 6, Henry Doucette. Good pass by the Dragons. They go left side to the high flyer, Anthony Jacques. His big swing catches the baseline and puts his Dragons up 1-0. Number 14 back to serve, Jacques Guerrier. Jacques didn't start the first set. Looks like he's the only substitution that head coach Jason Melanson has made in this one. The St. Thomas lineup looks to be the same. Christie unloads. Dragon scramble. Free ball coming for Stu. They run an X ball. It was well read by the Dragons. They kept it alive. Big block. And a big swing from Christie in the back row, but no touch, and it would be 4 contacts is the call. Jeremy Bork back to the line for the Dragons. His jump float handled well by St. Thomas. They run Garrett with a little 31 in the back. But Dixon's met by a big block on the Dragon side. And the Dragons are up by 2. It's 3-1. Their first lead of the evening. Nice pass by Christie. Beaten with a good dig. Great action here. Good. Stu's running a great offense, and the Dragons just digging everything up, but they didn't dig up that big swing in the middle by Dixon that time. And he'll score, keep Tommy's teammates in tight here. They trail by 1. It's 3-2 as Dixon goes back to serve. Good up by Hamilton. Roll shot that time by McDougall. Kept alive. And the Dragons catch the baseline and score. They're now up 4-2. Jacques back to serve now for the Dragons. Christie with a good pass. And they run that back to Melnick, who scores. He'll go back to serve. Tommy still trail by 1. It's 4-3. Melnick with a good serve. Beaton did well to keep the ball in front of him, but his overbump call proves to be costly as Stu jumps on that and puts it away cleanly. It's 4-4, all tied up here in the second set. Melnick serving for Stu. Thunderous jump serve. Free ball now for Stu. Little miscommunication there. And the swing by McDougall goes out. That'll be a point for the Dragons. And their setter, number 6, Antoine Savoie, will go back to serve. Oh, nice run that time by St. Thomas. Doucette goes to Hamilton in the middle for a score. Tied up again, 5-5. McDougall serving. Savoie beaten that time, beaten on the left side, tried to go cross with it, but it goes wide. And Stu now leads now for the first time this set. Good call there by Mark Goff. The R1 calls setter Savoie with 2 touches on that. Couldn't get the ball out cleanly. Christian Christie still serving. Takes a little off his jump serve, or his float serve that time. Beaton looking for a touch call. Not going to get it. Tommy's lead, 8-5. Christie still serving. Beaten with a good pass. A little tight, but the setter Savoie kept it alive. Melnick rips that one out of position number 1. Big block by Stu. Kept alive. Good swing there by Christie on the left side. Stu now doubles their guess from University of St. Anne. Score, it's 10-5. Tip attempt blocked by Hamilton at the net. Kept alive by the Dragons. Free ball. Henry Doucette just about able to do whatever he wants in terms of running an offense. Got lots of options. Stu totally playing in system. And they lead now 11-5 as Coach Jason Melanson calls a timeout. And we'll be back in just a second. We'll thank a couple of our sponsors while we get a break in action. Taylor Printing Group. They use the hashtag Taylor Group POW to showcase the plays of the week. Eden's Retirement Villa. Keir's Marketing, Design, and Printing. The Fredericton Inn, a family-owned and operated hotel here in Fredericton. Riverview Lincoln Ford. We'd like to thank all our sponsors for all they do for our St. Thomas student athletes. And play resumes here in set number 2. Adam McDougall goes back to line for the Tommies. His serve throws the Dragons out of system. This time Beaton does find some hands, beats that off the St. Thomas block and out of play, and the ball goes into the stands. Trevor Melanson will go back to serve for the Dragons. Nice pass by St. Thomas. Out to Christie in the wing. Kept alive. Great dig by the Dragons. And Christie this time, he finds hands, beats it off a pair of blocks from the Dragons, and it goes out of play. The Tommies up by 6 now. It's 12-6. Adam Hamilton will go back to the line for the Tommies. And his spinner will be recorded as an ace. Number 5, Anthony Jacques, just can't dial that one in. And Hamilton puts his Tommies up by 7. (13-6). His second attempt, not as he would have hoped. It goes into the net, and the Dragons will pick up a point. Gabe Beaton back to serve for the Dragons. And the Tommies snibble one over, and it will touch the hard court and score. 14-7 now is the score. Number 6 back to serve, their setter, Henry Doucette. That was Anthony Jacques from the left side. Not a big body out there. He's only listed as, I guess he's listed as 5'11". He doesn't look that tall from up here, but he can sky. He's got some serious hops. And number 14, Jacques Guerrier back to serve. Christie from the right side goes line and catches Melanson in the shoulder. Out of play and point Tommies. St. Thomas really in control here, able to run just about whatever they want for offense. Doucette doing a great job moving the ball around, keeping the Dragons' defense on their toes. And Dragons get called for 2 contacts on that play. The Tommies have assured themselves a pretty good lead here now, 16-8. Well in control, playing calm, collected, confident. All the C words here. Confident, calm, collected. Maybe even courageous. I don't know. Anyway, we've got a ball in the court. That gets picked up by our ball crew. Play will resume. Christie back to serve for the Tommies, number 12. throws up his toss. I think that was Beaton that put a pass on that. Kept alive, battle at the net now. Dixon wins that battle. No, I guess he doesn't. It looked like Dixon hit that off hands and out of play, but it is points Dragons. Number 8, Jeremy Bork, back to serve for the Dragons. Doucette had to give chase. And that swing attempt there by McDougall goes long. Lines official Ken Burns, Johnny on the spot. Waved the flag and says out of bounds. A massive block by number 2, Garrett Dixon. Teamed up with number 11, Dallas Melnick, and shut that left side attack by the Dragons down. And Dixon will go back to serve for the Tommies, number 2. They lead 18-10. Unsure of the call there by R2 Randy Wilson, but he saw something he didn't like and against the rules, so it's point for the Dragons. And Jacques goes back to serve. Good pass by the Tommies. They run middle, and Adam Hamilton cuts it across his body, goes cross court with a hard swing in the middle, and it's a point for the Tommies. 19-11 they lead here in the second set. Melnick. High toss, he lays into it, but it sails long. And that'll be point number 12 for the Dragons. Their setter, number 6, Antoine Savoie, back the line. Pass there by Brown. Libero for St. Thomas. Stu scores. And they get to that all-important 20th point. Stu leads 20-12. Push to 5 now to put the set away is what they would like to do. Beaton wails on it, but finds St. Thomas' hands, and his team can't keep it alive. Another point for Stu. Adam McDougall serving. His jump float gives the Dragons some difficulty. Beaton from the left side, showing a little bit of frustration. He swings and doesn't get any hands. Takes a deep breath, gotta shake that stuff off. Can't let that bother you. McDougall serves again. Takes a lot off it, just drops that over the 3-meter line. And a big swing there by number 5, Anthony Jacques. Point for the Dragons. Trevor Melanson back to the line now for the Dragons, number 11. Brown with a nice pass. That's been the difference, I think, so far is passing, for sure. St. Thomas has their passes dialed in, where the Dragons are spraying their passes a little bit, playing out a system, and they can't run their offense like they would want to. Whereas Doucette from St. Thomas can run just about whatever he wants, because the passes he's getting are on the money. Ken Burns calls that out. That serve attempt goes long. The Dragons hanging tough here. They sit at 14, while the St. Thomas Tommies sit at 23. Beaten now with the jump float. Nathan Brown handles that well. Doucette goes outside to number 12, Christie, who puts that away for a kill. And the Tommies are now within 1 of putting set number 2 away. They lead 24-14. And that did not yield a touch call, and that is a set point for the Tommies. They take this one 24-14 in convincing fashion. And that will wrap up set number 2, and we'll be back with more live ACAA men's university volleyball from the Lady Beaverbrook Gym in just a few moments. Welcome back to the Lady Beaverbrook Gym at the University of New Brunswick here in the capital, in Fredericton. You're watching live ACAA, that's Atlantic Collegiate Athletic Association men's volleyball. The hosts in white, the St. Thomas Tommies, and the visitors from the Université Sainte-Anne, the Dragons in blue. If you're just joining the webcast, you missed the first 2 sets. Stu took the first one 25-17, and the second one, can't read my writing here, 25-14. And they look to make a clean sweep here of the Dragons. Christie with a nice line shot, kept alive by the Dragons. McDougall with a good dump, and a setter joust there. And setter Doucette pretty pleased with himself on that one. He rubbed it off a block for a point. Doucette goes back now to serve for the Tommies. They lead 1-0. But into the net it goes. So that's a point for the Dragons, and big number 14, Jacques Guerrier, will go back to serve for the Dragons. Guerrier's listed as 6'3" from Port Hawkesbury, Nova Scotia. John Hamilton, Johnny on the spot on the hot corner, calls that one in. It was a big swing there by number 3 from the Tommies, Braden Cook. Christie goes back, throws up his high toss. Tommy setter crashes into the floor sign on the over by the bleachers, but made a good dig and a good play. Good effort by the young setter, Savoie. We're all tied up at 2. Bork with a serve. Handled well by Brown. Big swing on the left side. Brown with a good dig. That's the libero from St. Thomas. McDougall again, another big swing from the left side. This time he scores. Braden Cook back to serve for the Tommies. Nice pass by Beaton. Cross-court shot by number 5. Anthony Jacques goes wider than the line, so out of bounds. Point Stu. It's 4-2 now. Cook still serving for the Tommies. Sort of a hard roll shot that time by number 11, Trevor Melanson. Catches the baseline. The Dragons are within 1. It's 4-3 here in the third set. Christie handles that serve. Hamilton through the middle, tips it, kept alive by the Dragons. They feed pipe ball to Jacques. He swings cross court again and goes wide again. Dallas Melnick now back to the line for the Tommies, number 11. He's got a bomb. See what he does here. Tough serve. They go to him again from the back row. Kept alive again by the Dragons. Christie just dishes it out to McDougall. Roll shot. Kept alive by Dragons again. Good action here in the third set. Savoie back to serve for the Dragons. His standing float serve hits the tape, but kept in. Tight at the net. Beaton rips it. He's swinging hard, getting hands. Four contacts is the call. It looked like there might have been a block, but I'm not an official, and I wouldn't be a very good one. That's why I'm way up here in the broadcast area. 6-4 is the score now. Over bump. Stopped there by Hamilton at the net. Tipped. Christie dishes to Doucette. Back to Christie, who goes off hands and out of play. And it's a point for the Tommies. They now lead 7-4. Short serve by McDougall. Beaton swinging hard. The Stu block gets pieces of it, but not enough. And it's a point for the Dragons. Big serve by number 11, Melanson. But Stu transitioned and scored. And it's now 8-5 for the Tommies. Adam Hamilton back to serve. Takes a big breath. Service ace for Hamilton. Nine-5 now is the lead. Hamilton again throws it up, lays into it. Another good serve. Free ball coming here. Tip. Hamilton picks that up. Doucette goes back row to Melnick, and nobody gets a hand on that one. A clean kill for Melnick, number 11 from the back row. He's on fire. And Hamilton's serve called out by Hamilton. That'd be John Hamilton on the corner. Not sure if they're related or not, but in any event, we have a timeout being called here by the head coach for the Université de Saint-Anne Dragons. Jason Melanson calls timeout at 10-6. want to stay current on what's happening on St. Thomas on the campus in terms of varsity athletics, you can follow them on social media at Tommy's Stew on Facebook and on Twitter, and on Instagram at Tommy's Nation. The website is also full of player profiles and schedules and results. Lots of good information there, so visit gotommies.ca and stay up to date with everything that's happening in the world of sports at St. Thomas University here in Fredericton. Timeout is over, and Gabe Beaton will go back to serve for the Dragons, number 2. Jump float, handled well by McDougall. And Doucette runs middle. He connected there with Braden Cook, who put that away. Good swing by Cook. Doucette goes back to serve now for the Tommies. Good pass by Beaton. Savoie pushes it out to Jacques on the left side. Big number 5 puts it away for a point for the Dragons. They trail by 4. It's 11-7 now. Serve gave Brown a little bit of difficulty on serve reception. And number 11, Melnick, absolutely destroyed it. I keep saying that over and over, but I just can't believe how heavy a ball he is hitting. It almost seems like a character from a video game where you'd hold the power button down to give it extra strength, and you release it. And he's just swinging so hard here tonight. Dragons are within 4. It's 12-8 here in the third set. Number 8 back to serve now. Jeremy Bourque. Jacques with a big block. Just realized that rhymes. Jacques with the block on Christie, I believe it was. So it's a point for the Dragons. They're within 3. 12-9. I know it's pretty sad when I'm up here making myself laugh. Savoie runs middle, kept alive by Brown. Looks like there's a net call on the Tommy side, and it is indeed. So it's a point for the Dragons, and back to serve still is Jeremy Bourque. Stu needs to get out of those rotations, causing them some trouble. Wise to let that one go, and it sails long. Missed serve there by the Dragons, and the Tommies lead by 3. Speaking of 3, number 3 is back to serve for the Tommies. Braden Cook, jump float. Handled well by Beaton. He's a good passer. He dialed that in. That swing by Melanson goes off Tommy's hands and out of play for a point. Jacques with a good float serve. Handled well by Brown. Kept alive here by by the Dragons, and a tip to the pot will score. Catches the Tommies defense off guard and maybe on their heels a little bit. The Dragons not willing to give up. Clawing their way back into this one. They're only down by 1 now. It's 13-12. And that ace serve makes it a tie ball game. We're all tied up at 13s. And Anthony Jacques will still serve for the Dragons. Christie to Doucette, outside to McDougall. Dragons, I think the key here is they're playing better defense than they did the first set and the second set. And again, setter Doucette for St. Thomas was on the net. He tried to make a play on a tight ball there, and his shoulder just kind of grazed the mesh. Christie with a good pass. Doucette runs a sort of an inside shoot. Used to call that a 4 back in the day. To Hamilton, who had a good swing on it. Setter dump. Well read by Hamilton. Pipe ball. But it doesn't go over. Christie's swing attempt goes into the net, and it's point for the Dragons. They now lead by 2. And Coach Henri Mayat calls his first timeout of the match. Looking to settle this St. Thomas side down and maybe cool the serving of Jacques, who's been on a run. The Dragons lead the Tommies 15-13. And we'll take a very short break and be back with more men's volleyball action in just a moment. And the whistle blows to end that timeout. The Dragons are pumped up coming out of the huddle. Seeming pretty confident out there. They lead the Tommies now by 2 points for the first time this set. And Anthony Jacques will go back to serve for the Dragons. Christie dials that one in. A little tight, but Doucette was able to find Hamilton in the middle, who hit that about 2 meters, so a meter in front of the attack line. Great swing by Hamilton there. Melnick rips his serve into the net, but boy, it only went about 1,000,000 miles an hour. Lucky for the Dragons that it didn't come over. Savoie now serves, and Nathan Brown's pass was a little too tight for Doucette, who was on the net again, just trying to save the ball. Stu struggling a little bit now with passing on serve receive. But good thing they have McDougall out there on the left side to get them out of that jam. He scores with that swing, and he'll go back to serve now for the Tommies, who trail by 2. It's 15 serving 17. Now it's the Dragons who are struggling. Out of system. Tommy's had a good pass on that free ball. Ran it back to position 1 to Melnick in the back row, who unloaded, but he missed the court. The ball went long, so it's point for the Dragons. Miss serve, point for the Tommies. Substitutions happening now on the Stu side. We got number 10 coming into the game, William LeBlanc. And also coming in again is number 3, Braden Cook. Adam Hamilton will have a seat on the bench, and the libero will also take a break. So LeBlanc goes back to serve now, number 10 for the Tommies. Good jump float serve causes the Dragons some trouble. Nice block in the middle there. I think that was all Cook. He was partnered there by number 12, Christie, but I think it was all Cook on that one. LeBlanc serves again. Good pass there. Beaton doing a good job there on the left side. Puts everything he can into it. Good serve by Beaton. Brown handled it. Nice dig there. Christie had a good swing, and the setter, Savoie, he made a good play on it. Cook in the middle. He'll score. Gets pieces of hands out of play. The Tommies now clawing their way back into it. They only trail by one now. It's 18-19. Henry Doucette now back to the line for the Tommies. Out of system now. But Jacques sees hands and he takes them. Beats it off a pair and he scores. Jacques Guerrier now back to serve for the Dragons, who lead 20-18. Out to Melnick, who tips. Everybody in the gym thought he was going to unload because that's what he's been doing all evening. All the Dragons were on their heels, and Melnick dropped that right into the heart of the court with a soft tip for a score. And his Tommies are now within one. Christian Christie now back to serve for the Tommies, number 12. Pass there by Jacques. They go to him. He hits it wide, no touch. Point Tommies, and we're all tied up here at 20. And the gym goes quiet. Christie gets ready for his serve. Big spin. That pass is tight. McDougall there to battle with Savoie, and it's McDougall who wins that battle. Tommy's up now 21-20. First time they've led in quite a while here in this set. Looking to close this out in straight sets. They're up in sets 2-0. Christie with a good pass. A near replay. Over bump on the pass. And it's McDougall who goes up against the setter and is there to win that joust. And it's now a timeout being called by head coach Jason Melanson from the Université Sainte-Anne Dragons. They trail now by 2. It's 22-20 here in the third. Welcome back to the Lady Beaverbrook Gym here at the University of New Brunswick in Fredericton. Set number 3 between the host, the St. Thomas Tommies, and the guests, Université Sainte-Anne Dragons. Tommies lead 2-0 in sets and lead set number 3, 22-20. Christian Christie back to serve. Beaton handles that serve. Out to Jacques. He swings hard and high and gets hands. But the Tommies are not able to keep it in control, so it's a point for the Dragons. This is by far the best set of the evening for sure. The closest, bar none. Dragons only down by 1 here. Could go any way. Melnick lays a beat down on that one. Jason Guerrier was there to defend, but not able to dial it in. Melnick been throwing rocks at the Dragons all evening. Cook now back to serve. Tommy's lead 23-21, and that is in. An ace for Braden Cook. The Tommies are within 1 of taking this whole match in 3 straight sets. They lead 24-21. And the crowd gets into it. It's electric in here right now. Nice pass there by Beaton. Savoie goes back to Jacques. I'm not sure if he's going to get a touch call. It looks like it's, yes, he does get a touch call. John Hamilton in the corner calls a touch. So with that swing, Jacques gives the Dragons their 22nd point. They now trail by 2, 24-22. Jacques serves. Nathan Brown, over bump. Beaten there to gobble that up. McDougall, roll shot. Somebody's on the net. Nope, 4 hits. 4 hits is the call, and they are now within 1. It's now 24-23.
Thank you.
Good float serve there by Jacques, and that gives McDougall some trouble. He shanks it, and it goes into the chest of Christie. We're all tied up here at 24. What a thriller. You're getting your money's worth at home, folks. Jacques, good float serve, lots of action on it. Brown dials it in. Doucette goes left side to McDougall, who puts that away convincingly. Good swing there by McDougall. 25 now, 24, and look who's back to serve, number 11. Melnick, Dallas Melnick. Will he unleash? You know he will. 25-24. Unleashes but can't convert. Into the net it goes. 25-25. What a thriller. Antoine Savoie back to serve. He's got a good float serve. Brown handles it well. They run middle into the pot, and they can't keep it alive, and it's point for the Tommies. 26-25 now is the score. And that'll send number 13, Adam McDougall, back to the line for the Tommies with a chance to put this away. 26-25, set number 3. Good pass by the Dragons. They got it dialed in. Beaton swings high and hard. He gets a piece of hands and out of play. Beaton doing a great job out there for the Dragons. 26-26. What a doozy. Trevor Melanson, his serve, hits the tape but stays in. They pump it out to Christensen on the wing, and he scores. 27-26. And Adam Hamilton will go back to serve now for the Tommies. He's got a good jump serve. Let's see what he does here. Takes his time. Here's the toss. Into the net. Similar result as when Melnick went to try to do the same thing. Tie game again, 27. Gabe Beaton, jump float. Good pass up by McDougall. Christensen on the wing, goes over top of the block, and he scores. 28-27 now, Tommy's lead. Nobody here at the Beaverbrook Gym is out of their chairs and leaving yet. Being treated to a doozy. Doucette now back to serve. His float hits the tape, kept alive. Tip fest here. Jacques outside on the wing, beats it through 2 hands. Melnick and Cook tried to team up there, but they just couldn't control it. All tied up at 28s, folks. This is at least going to 30. Got to win by 2. Garrier back to serve now for the Dragons. Good pass by Brown. Out to Melnick. Off hands, kept alive. Good push by Jacques. He was looking for some sort of net call there. Not going to get it. And Christie hits it wide, number 12 for the Tommies. And that puts the Dragons up by 1. It's now 29-28 Dragons leading the Tommies. Into the net it goes, and we're now tied at 29s. Christian Christie will go back to serve. 29 all. Here's his toss. Unloads. And it's an ace for Christie. He goes line. Jacques can't handle it. Off his arms and out of play. 30-29 now. The Tommies lead. 1 point away. I haven't seen a set go to 30 in quite some time. I think over a year at least. Pretty exciting stuff. Christie takes a breather. Here's the toss. He unloads. Nice pass there by the Dragons. They pump it out to Jacques, who's dangerous out there. He swings high and hard, but Brandon Crook and Melnick are there for a big wall, and Stu takes it 31-29. And to take the match 3-0. Set scores 25-17, 25-14, 31-29. And that'll do it for this webcast. Thanks for tuning in and watching live ACAA men's volleyball action from the University of New Brunswick. Have a great weekend, everybody.